Good evening, JJ. How do you feel about the allegations made by Doggett that you stole his girl in high school?
What?
Yeah, it's in the chat right now.
Hey, yo, hashtag JJ beats them allegations.
JJ stole everyone's girl in high schools, is what Maggie is saying in the chat. It's the sexy saxophone playing.
I see that I was writing. The seahorse part is true. I did do that.
Well, TJ, it's been a while since we've been in the same room. How you been?
Oh, you're right. Like, show crosses. Oh, you're right. Damn. Oh, I've been back.
It's been a while since us three. This trio in particular.
Hey, man. Well, you know, someone doesn't like to talk about anime. Kidding. It's not us.
We have a subject on that actually, but we'll get into that later. We are just catching up. This show is going to be a little bit more of a staple from here on out, at least more than once every 3 months. And
when the moon's in its highest position and the stars have aligned in front of Mars, that's how we coordinate when we do this show.
Doggett is asking if you've seen Physical 100. We're in the pre-show, so you can answer questions.
I've not. It is on my list of things to watch.
I've actually been catching up on anime, so I'm ready for this show. I'm not ready to answer questions about Physical 100 just yet.
Yeah, how do I describe it? I also have an area to talk about here. So, guys, we're not just going to talk about what the shows are on there. I would actually like to do a little sneak peek into what's coming up in this next season, since it happens in like a couple weeks.
What next season? Of what?
The next season of anime.
Oh, okay. In general, yes, there's a lot of stuff coming on. Still think that we've started with the video game topic almost every one of these episodes. So what are y'all playing right now?
Show hasn't started yet. This is pre-show.
Yeah, get the vibes going with some video game talk.
What am I playing right now? Actually, you know what? I've been talking for a little bit. JJ, go ahead. What you playing?
I was playing Jedi Fallen Order. I finally beat it. I'm not gonna platinum that shit. Some of those trophies are stupid.
What are some of the trophies that are stupid in that?
It's like beat an enemy by kicking them. Why would I kick them? I have a shiny sword. I have shiny laser sword, and I can perfect dodge everyone. Why would I kick them?
That's fair.
I mean, what's the one that everybody? I guess Elden Ring has a DLC coming out, but
yeah.
I would never try to kick anybody in Elden Ring.
Man, it's a lot easier than you think. Really, by the time you get to that last sliver of health, you're just kind of slamming your controller a bunch, doing whatever you can to hit. Anything else besides Fallen Order?
I'm going to have to jump back onto Horizon.
Ooh.
Jump back onto Horizon Forbidden Dawn and finish it because a buddy of mine gave me Forbidden West. So I need to start that one.
Elijah's like, Animexcellence, Sam must be gone this week. No, Sam will literally be hosting on Thursday.
I'm still here.
I have not played Atomic Heart. It is on my list, but the reviews kind of like dampened my spirits a little bit.
See, when people tell me that, I always ask the age-old question. Your opinions mean shit to me if it's on Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
Baby. I could try it myself, baby. I'm like, reviews used to matter when I'd spend money on games.
Damn, I'm playing Persona 4 just because it's on Game Pass. Everyone told me how amazing it was. It's all right, but I'm used to the magic of 5. It's the only thing.
Well, yeah, it's like remember, you got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So like it's like a little bit of an expectation. But I really love 3 a lot. I think the port they did, like, I'm hoping 3 gets weird because there's 2 different ports of 3. There's FES and Portable, and they chose Portable, and I like Portable like as the one I prefer. But I was hoping they'd do like a true remaster. Persona 4 is cool. It's not that I like it less than the other 2.
Yeah.
I think I like its story. If you don't know what's happening in Persona 4, I think it's cool because it's like, I think what they're doing, like, it's basically a giant kind of murder mystery type of situation. Mm-hmm. 3's just depressing. Like, so, like 3, I forgot how depressing it was. I'm going through and playing through it, like, and playing, like, trying to get to the end, like, for the first time. And you just have people that are like zombies normally, just out there and during the day, just like straight up, like not real zombies, but basically like there's this whole syndrome or disease going around, and like people who will look normal on the main screen one day can just be gone the next, just left as a husk of themselves. But it is but music wise, all that kind of cylinder hitting, like Synapses, it's really good.
No, it's
That
hitting.
started with 3 because 1 and 2 are very different.
1 and 2 are different.
I don't even know where to find 1 and 2. I didn't even know where to find 4 until it was on Game Pass.
You can't really find 1 and 2 anymore. Because they're PlayStation 1 games. So like you'd have to scour the earth to find a disc, or scour the internet on websites.
Quick aside, Key, I'll get to that in a second. Because yes, I did.
And they did remake them for PSP.
Yeah.
But they didn't really change the gameplay all that much. From what I've heard about people that have played both, a lot of them don't really like the changes that were made on the PSP one.
Yeah.
For 1.
Oh, for 1, yes.
For 1 in particular, because they changed up the music. They made it more like Persona 3, like the modern Persona music style, whereas Persona 1 and 2 had a more like somber atmosphere. It wasn't very like Tokyo poppy.
Joe Jira is saying one of the bad guys in Persona 2 is Hitler.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I've seen that clip and I didn't know it was I didn't know it was from Persona
Just
2.
legit.
It's just straight up Hitler.
No,
I tend to really like the games where you can kill Hitler.
Well, that's what you played this weekend.
Me
I
and
went
my
to
brother killed Hitler.
who were you playing?
Sniper Elite 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I went to JJ's house to watch AEW, and then I was like, "Hey, how was your day?" He was like, "I killed Hitler."
That's fair. No, I love the Persona series a lot. I have I'm really hoping for that remaster of 3 because I feel like they 4 has 4 Golden is like the universal standard of like the way to play it.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, 3 like there's pros to both, like, and Portable's pros are good. FES's pros are good, and they just need to smush them together.
Jealous of Serenity, she went to Japan, and that's how she heard of the Persona series.
Awesome to the max.
Some of us just have Google.
Some of us can only vicariously live in Japan through Persona.
Yeah, I've been a high school student in Japan. I want to say for 3 games now. I'm living the best life.
It's also why I want to play Midnight Suns.
Oh, somebody brought up Midnight Sun in the chat.
Yeah, I saw it on the chat, but it's got some of those like life sim elements that Persona's got in it. Except
Persona was the best thing to play in the middle of COVID, where it's just like you're not going out for who knows when. It's like, well, now I'm a high school student in Japan.
His life is way better than mine. Teachers hit on him.
oh, I totally romanced the teacher.
Did you get the bad ending where you romanced too many people?
I was faithful. I was faithful.
So,
yeah, judge your men on how if they're faithful in their sim games.
I was faithful, but I also did create multiple saves so I could see all the endings.
I did think it was funny though, because like I maxed out. The first one I maxed out was the one that everyone maxes out. The one that me and you said was best waifu. The one with the bike. Makoto.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. First play. Non-royale. Makoto all the way.
But I got pretty far with the chess player, and then it's funny when it's like, do you really want to do this?
Dude, it makes you feel something because you're like, I was like, but I like the chess player. I saw her in Hawaii. She brought me a gift. I was like, she's trying.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, like the weight of that controller gets real heavy.
All that's missing is it vibrating like old school. Like, are you sure? Are you sure?
For sure. Like if we talking Cause I like most of the options except for the the drunk lady. Like it'd be like, no, get away from me, man.
Oh, the drunk reporter.
Yeah. I was like,
She came on a little strong.
yeah. I was like,
She comes off right from the get go.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
we were talking in a bar and I'm in high school. You need to stop.
Man, I went for all the older chicks. I went for the teacher and the doctor.
No, see, the doctor was the one I consciously was like, nah, that's out of my league.
Well, I didn't believe I could get with the doctor, and then I got super far, and I was like, "Wait, can I?"
Oh, it's Persona, baby. Yes.
I think. Yep, 100%. All right, so Jojira picked the one that I was the most worried about. And it's weird because it's only a worry that I have now that I played that game as a 30-year-old man. Because Jojira picked Futaba. And I was like, Futaba seems like a kid.
See, with Futaba, I said, I'm good. I was like, that's a sister relationship. I'm here to support you. My boy Sejiro's let me stay in his crib. I go Mac on his yeah, that kind of feels messed up.
You can stay in my house. You just have to make the curry, make the coffee. Don't bang my daughter.
And I'm violating 1/3 of the rule. He gives me no stipulations. I can go out on the town at midnight. Why am I going to do that to my man? Nah,
I've heard Futaba does have the most interesting story. I didn't get close to maxing it out. I meet her too late. That's just my.
No, I would say that because if you're playing Roy, yeah, I played Allegra.
We have Makoto as a first-time chatter today, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah, Team Makoto first run through. I did. How do I describe it? I think on Royale was the first time like I had built up some points into the character that in the first game they just basically kind of talk. Haru gets like actual characterization if you do her romance line, and I was like, oh hey, you're kind. And then I processed it. I was like, wait, why wouldn't you be with the rich chick who just inherited? I did end up with her, but I went with a new girl in Royale.
I haven't played Royale. I don't have it, actually.
You played it like
It's
real
on Game
life.
Pass, baby.
It is on Game Pass, so I'll probably play it there. But yeah,
I did play it like real. I don't know, man. Sometimes I have guilt. Like I'm not weird games, but like especially with that, I just somewhere in my soul I was like, nah, but I have a bond with this. I can't. I don't even want to see what it's like to be cheating on someone else. It's like, it made me start to feel bad. Be like, damn, I'm going on. But I mean, I'll be like, but hey, no, I'll be going on them dates until we make it. Until it does ask me that, are you for sure? Everyone's level 9.
Well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to level. Your strengths are your strength. Your friends are your strength is in that game. So I mean, you are supposed to do that. But it is kind of funny at a certain point. It's like past level 6. It's like, well, these are legitimate dates with everyone at this point.
It's like, yeah, I need you to.
I was taking down notes. I was like, okay, I gotta find me an amusement park.
It's like, damn, these aquariums be nice, huh? No, that was one of the times where you start to ask questions because it was like, hey, like the doctor, I think for one, was like, hey, yeah, we're testing medicine, but you know what? Let's go to this park. It's like, wait, time out. We testing medicines. What? Out here trying to. Nah, damn, it makes me want to play 5 again. I've played that game twice.
It's kind of funny that me and JJ, I think, were talking like in the middle of COVID. Like, I don't want to finish this game because once I finish, I don't want to go back to the beginning of the 110 hours to.
See, I will say, if you did not play Royale is worth it because they do have a lot after.
Okay.
So you get like, oh, dude, it does. Like, I think so it's different because I have like little things I like about the endings of both. But like with Royale, that post game part was dope. Or not, it's not even post game. It's like just like I like the way they conclude some of those things. And then I also like a lot of the system up changes they made. You have a lot more like ways to kind of build up your bars and things to do. And there's an entire other part of the city to explore. So it's like living another life again. And some of the dungeons got recalibrated because that the space one doesn't suck as much.
Oh yeah, the space one pissed me.
Dog, that fight in that space one.
Why don't any of these fucking personas have weaknesses?
Sat there. No,
But
I
if
think
I recruit them, oh no, they get one-shotted by everything else.
the fifth one teaches you mechanics real quick. Like, but no, like I liked because I think I played a Royale on hard, and I like. So for me, and we'll get into the next game because Key mentioned it earlier, but to me with boss fights, you like if I get to your last one and you're not making me use all the mechanics in the game, like not doing it right, right?
Yeah,
You're the final boss, you should be making me doing it. Like, and so by the time you get to the final boss in Royale, like you're switching, you're like I never used what is it, Yusuke, like or the painter,
The
right?
painter?
Yeah.
And I was like, but dog, I had to switch into like in the first time around, never used him. Royale, dog, I had to switch in. Like I'm tapping people in.
He has a sword. He was like one of my favorite dudes to use, I guess.
Nah, he's back end.
I will say that I didn't get anywhere near. Like, I know it's just a video game, but I was like, yeah, I'm not getting along with the artist, dude. Like, not at all.
It's like we ain't homies. I'm just gonna level up your shit vicariously. So Royale let you like kind of work with that. But like there's a bunch of cool stuff, and then you actually do get like in Royale you get 2 more characters, so you have like your party's huge. Because if you notice in the first one, like there's a couple of elements that like they don't have matches for, and they fix that in the Royale, so it's cool. But speaking of boss fights, yes, I played Hi-Fi Rush. Yes,
You recommended it to me. I downloaded it, and I'm going to get to it, too.
it is a 10 out of 10 from me. I love Hi-Fi Rush. The shit injected in my veins. It is very addictive. But also, I think it is it's like it hit me on the synopsis of really good boss fights. They have really good boss fights, and if you play it on hard, it like very hard. That last boss fight beat my ass, which is awesome. Like I was like, yes. Because it's the type that's like, nah, B. You got to go back. Go back to where the start.
I will say, on the notes of video games and on the note of nostalgia, because we have some nostalgic topics here today. Even Attack on Titan is almost nostalgic because, I mean, it started 10
Shenanigan.
years. Yeah.
We want to talk about just milk.
Yes.
Glad people are super excited for it.
Are you not excited for it?
It's not that.
It's what?
No, please don't let me be that guy. Just start off.
You be that. You be that.
No,
guy.
I'm kidding. Not.
Is it just that you don't think it'll compare to Fighters in a way?
No, it's not even that. It was just like my hypeness for an amazing Dragon Ball fighting game was met. Like, I have a really good one. I got one. A lot of people are like, a lot of the characters, and I'm like, well, Xenoverse is right there. And so I just kind of want to see what Tenkaichi is going to do differently than the other two, because Fighters is like more mechanically like what I don't want it to be the case, and what I guess like where my cautiously optimistic is, a lot of people get caught up with the characters, but I don't really care if you have a fuck ton of characters if they feel the same. Like, if they all feel the same, doesn't really do it to me. And Tenkaichi 2, just so everyone else, I played Tenkaichi 2. I loved it. That was pretty good.
We played it for King of the Controller.
I was Budokai kid. Like I like Budokai 3. Like if we want to go old school Dragon Ball games, I'm Budokai 3. Like till I die. But Tenkaichi was cool. And so now I'm like, I live in an era where I got the mechanically intensive, like, fighters. I've got more, hey, if I want characters, fucking Xenoverse has imaginary ones. They have whatever you want. So I'm like, kind of like, okay, what are they going to do with Tenkaichi to spice it up, right? And make it different. I think it looks good. I think that little clip that they saw, I like kind of the art direction for it.
I did like that that's the best way to sell nostalgia, though. Like, it's showing you an old school TV.
Oh, no, the trailer was good.
Yeah.
Like, I just, I'm how do I put it? Not hype, just cautiously optimistic. I just have to, but also, like, look at me, heart to heart here. Heart to heart. Y'all better not make me play through this goddamn story one more goddamn time. It's either you get me all the Dragon Ball, which never gets adapted half the time, so make me play through all the Dragon Ball, so I can get something new. Then you can toss in the Z stuff, and then you give me all of Super. But if y'all start on Z, and that's all I get, then we already starting off on a bad foot.
You want to fight the Rabbit Man?
I want to fight everybody.
King Carrot.
I basically just, I don't want them to rest on I don't want them to get the pass. Yeah, we'll just do Z. No. Not again. Just had Kakarot. I don't even think they did Dragon Ball in Kakarot. So no, not fair.
Well,
What about y'all? Sorry, no, I was Mr. No. How about y'all? My bad.
I want the board game back.
You want the board game back?
Was it Budokai 2 that
Budokai
had
2
that,
with board game.
that board game mode? That was awesome. I want it back.
That's how they did the story. We're on opposite ends. Fuck that for man, because you'd be like, man, that Frieza piece is moving kind of close.
'Cause I didn't like the way story is in Fighters. Like,
Yeah.
It tries to implement the board game mode, but it's too simplistic. Like
I'm with you there.
I never feel like there's a looming threat of me like missing out on something on that board. And it only gives me certain moves, but it doesn't matter because there's only like 3 spaces. So like, oh yeah, you have to clear out these 3 spaces in 5 moves. But did you give me 2 extra because I beat the last guy too far? Why do I have more moves than I need?
I think where Tenkaichi can shine definitely is in a story mode perspective. I guess it's just kind of weird because I'm like, when I think of a story, like, Kakarot just did that, right? And so I'm like, what are they like? I really want to see how Tenkaichi is going to stand out in terms of what they're bringing to the table. I also think that, probably from like, I think it could be that nice middle ground between Xenoverse Fighters and Kakarot in terms of hitting all the best parts of all, right? I think Tenkaichi has some freedom to get more technically intensive, and I think they have the freedom to, because I think it'll answer one of my other problems with Fighters, which is just an inherent nature of like when you have a roster that can't be as large as it is. Fought a lot of them clones. I fought a lot of Trunks, a lot of Cell, a lot of that. No one else, right? So I think Tenkaichi has the free pass to be like, all right, look, you won't have to fight the same person 15 times.
Well, I just like that people are happy about it. I've never been a big Budokai person. I thought that every time, I'm just spoiled, man. I like sprites. I like 2D fighters. So fighters gave me way more than Tenkaichi or Budokai kind of did.
It like Fighters was my ideal.
Yeah.
Like, but I know that a lot of people like are like, oh yeah, I grew up on Tenkaichi, so many characters, and I'm glad that they're happy.
Well,
if they feel different, just please let them not be clones. And unless it's Cyberman and Cell Jr., in which case I don't really give a fuck. You have to do the same shit.
Cell Jr. getting a lot of growth outside in the metaverse, like Devil Artemis and stuff like that, is pretty funny to me.
Hey man, he's the real hero of the story.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the intro, and then we'll start with our first topic. Good evening. My name is Marcos Lira. I will be your host today of the Animexcellence, but I am not alone. Across from me, we have the one true Jedi.
I'm JJ. And shout out to Juke the Ronin for gifting us a sub.
But JJ is not alone. Right next to him, the man that knows the most about anime here, or up there for sure.
Oh, it's TJ. What's up? I watch a lot.
Well,
I was watching a lot.
Well, that's a fun place to start.
Are adults really watching anime? I'm sorry. Are we? I mean, I'm not being a bully. I know, I mean completely unironically, and not just for the aesthetics and not just a little bit for the vibe. Are we really watching it? Because I think I got a lot to learn, because are you alone and you put it on and you have a college degree and everything and you're just like, my God bless your heart.
What do you want me to?
Yes, we're watching anime.
And no, I don't have a college degree, thank you.
How should I approach that? Because we roast it, because I can roast all day.
Go for the roast.
I mean, because look, first of all, I'm just that's the type of person who watches reality TV, The Bachelor, and then sits there and says sophisticated television. What are we missing out on? Hey, look. Another episode of X-Files and Mysterious Minds does not count. You're not a historian. You're just watching true crime and bullshit. Don't really fucking matter.
I'm tired of the amount of like serial killer shit that I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years.
Dog, I'm like, look, after a certain point, I'm like, no, I think it's important to capture history, but true crime is a weird thing where it makes crime sexy for some reason. I'm like, stop, like, got these people hooked like a drug. But that's off top of it. Whatever the fuck I want to do in my free time does not concern you. First of all, anime comes off with so many different flavors. It's not even just anime, because it's people who judge, like, that's a person who judges people to watch anything, right?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'm judging you for what you watch. I'm judging you for what you consume. Obviously, you must have intellectual and aptitude if you're watching something. Well, I'll tell you what, ma'am. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, test my intellect, and then I'll give you some recommendations for some great anime so you can level up yourself, I'll be more than happy to. But until then, shut the fuck up. Let us watch what we want to watch and stop judging people for whatever they consume, unless they're consuming bad anime, in which case, totally understand.
I mean, anime has just grown so much from it being like Goku powering up. It's and fight scenes that go on for 20 episodes, which is still cool sometimes. But like, there's so many good romance anime. I mean, it's funny how everyone shits on anime, but they don't shit on Miyazaki because they're like, oh, well, I can see that for the artistic quality that it is.
I mean, it's weird because I'm like, because it's the same. When they say this, it's the same thing that says, like, oh, why do you play video games? I hate that shit. It's like, hey, whatever gets you into a therapeutic mode or what relaxes you, sometimes there's just compelling story. And I've always been a person where animation is a form of, like, can be a serious form of storytelling that only West doesn't get. So, you know, by West, I mean the US doesn't get. Shoot, go to France, try and pull that shit.
Right.
yeah. So you're telling the president of France, the leader of a nation who is a diehard One Piece fan, say this in Mexico.
And there's also just so many different flavors of anime. Like we've talked about sports anime, action, crime, mystery, horror is probably like. There's certain horror anime that's probably scarier than anything that I've seen in the last 5 years.
It's just like, hey, look, she lives in that box. It's okay, ma'am. Hey, I'm certain you're not a wonderful person, but I mean, I'm kidding. Nah, for reals though, like, look, you live in a box. Break that box and don't judge people for whatever they want to watch and consume. Like, there's some things you could be like, I'm questionable. Like, don't get it twisted. Even with an anime, trust me, don't sit here. I'm not like, there's some questionable people and things. But, man, it's just like, you also got to understand that when it comes from that like level of what they're trying to portray, there's so many different anime that fundamentally, like, they treat their kids or children more adult than America ever does with whatever they're able to watch. But also, it's like defined a lot of people's culture.
Yeah.
And I mean, if like literally just look up any articles on why, a lot of minority communities resonate so well with something like Dragon Ball Z. It is like kind of like that whole, hey, you know, Goku was a person who fucking just landed on a planet and had nothing, just train and hard work, got him to be the best in like, and so that resonates with a lot of people, and they still like it, still can yell at it, but whatever. You still watching anime? Like, okay, like cover your chest too.
Well, the first anime on the docket. We're going to hit the nostalgia button right off the bat.
Hang on, we got to thank Christina Uchiha not only for the bits, but for gifting a tier 1 sub.
Oh, thank you.
And getting the hype train a rolling. Carnage Rage also donated some bits. Thank you very much.
Damn, we're making money off this show. We should do it more often.
We're watch more anime.
Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for hype training the love of anime here. No, I was like, no, because I'm really irritated by like, I was like, okay, what was the point of that TikTok? Not you. What's the point of that TikTok? What's you trying to benefit?
Because there's certain people that still think it's cool to shit on stuff. I mean, that's what, I mean, somebody brought up like TikTok is a cancer because TikTok is slowly becoming like Twitter, where it's just like people are airing out bad opinions all the time, and it's just, it sells easier.
No, I was just like, well, I guess I was just confused because I was like, she was like doing the sex poses and then telling me that too. I was confused. I was like, where do you want me to feel about this?
Right, yeah.
I was like,
hang on.
I think you're beautiful, woman, but
Your mouth is saying I don't watch anime, but your top is saying I probably have an OnlyFans.
We support you, but hey, if you have an OnlyFans, don't forget the anime fans are the ones who gonna come through for you. You should not be turning down your audience.
Oh man, I saw a really funny tweet. It was like, I got bullied for watching anime by kids that are now doing cosplay on OnlyFans.
Man, search up cosplay on TikTok. See where that ends you up.
Well, like I said, first topic, we're gonna hit the nostalgia button. Trigun Stampede has been kind of controversial for certain people, mostly because every time you touch something that people love, they have mixed feelings about it. How have you guys felt so far?
I wasn't mad about it, and I do love Trigun. I tried to make Vash the Stampede my personality in high school.
Yeah. You were always running away from fights. I don't know. No, I'm just
I was, and I ate a lot of donuts. This is a body fueled by donuts. And I really wanted to give Trigun Stampede a shot, and I did. It's not for me, dog.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's because I tried to binge a lot of it today. So I also worked today. So I was kind of watching it like on the periphery mostly, rather than paying a whole lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
So it might be a lot of that. But I don't know. I don't hate it, but I feel like it's moving really slow and also really fast at the same time. Like,
I mean, it's weird because Knives does come out like in episode 3. Like they are showing things, their cards a lot faster.
And some of the changes that they made, I don't fully understand yet. Like I'm not done with it. I'm like episode 5. But when they introduce Meryl and Guy, Roberto, I think
his name's Roberto. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess they got rid of Millie and sort of fused Millie and Wolfwood to this guy. And then episode 3 rolls around and fucking Wolfwood's right there. So why Guy? Where Millie?
The only issue is that I don't know. Maggie was saying they're trying to be closer to the manga in general with this plot line, but I didn't read the manga, so I don't know why they just got rid of Millie.
I didn't read the manga either, and I know that some of the minor differences in the anime.
His name is Roberto De Niro.
Ah, damn, that's awesome. He's growing on me now. I know that some of the differences in the anime were essentially like the order that he fights them in.
Yeah.
And this one from
Bring that back up. Time out. Was that? Oh my gosh. That's such a difference.
That's also true. The anime only covered like the first half. It didn't finish it.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I knew that. But yeah, I didn't read the manga, so I'm not 100% familiar with it. The only thing that I do know is that the order of the villains was muddled with in the anime.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think in this version, it's closer to that, but that's all I can really say. Like, I don't know. I can't say for sure since I didn't read it.
I mean, I am seeing things it just feels completely different. Like, it feels unfair to compare it to the first, which already is going to put it at a step back just because it's like, but I want my thing. Like, when they redid Berserk, you still got the cool like, it's still the same, it's just newer and better. Okay, it's not the same
well,
but
no, Berserk's just not. Berserk just needs a proper anime adaptation.
But I'm just saying, it's following the same story beats.
Yes.
You're still seeing them fight the giant marshmallow metaled man like in the first 2 episodes, as opposed to like, this is completely different. The first episode and of the old Trigun and the new Trigun have completely different story beats.
Yeah, that you are correct.
So I think I'm coming from a different angle because showing some anime lapse in my growing up anime watching, I never saw Trigun, the original one.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's always lived vicariously. Like, so, I've seen clips, I've seen stuff like that. And
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. Look, so if you were to tell me on paper, I'm going from old school 90s animation, which I adore when it's done well, to 3D, you're already losing points right out the gate, right? But as a clean slate, I thought it was enjoyable so far. And it's just maybe because I have a kind of like I have no point of reference other than a few like, hey, you know, I know that it's fundamentally different, but they did one thing that I wasn't very impressed by, which is make 3D look great.
Yeah, it does look beautiful.
Yeah. There's a scene where he has to shoot a whole bunch of falling objects with one bullet, and it looks really cool. And that's in the first episode, so it's not a spoiler, but at this point,
it's like I don't know. Like I was kind of, I guess I'm a little more positive, but that's just because it's resonating with me on the artistic level, and I don't have that frame of reference. But I also understand how this is kind of like a Hunter x Hunter 2011, 1999 thing, right? Where both are really good. They have some different strong suits. Some scenes are done, I'd still say, are done like better in the 1999 anime.
There's a scene where they fight like glowing firefly type creatures, or at least they appear, and it looks beautiful. Like it does. The 3D is adding to it, but there's just always something about 3D animation, like in this stuff in anime, that it always sticks out kind of way too much.
They haven't really fully mastered it, because the big trope with anime is that like it's very like stop framey sometimes, especially with like older anime like Astro Boy. It's like they move 2 frames, and with CG or 3D animation anime, it still feels very stuttery sometimes. Like it doesn't move as fluid as something 2D might.
That's actually a great way of putting it. That it's still
jittery.
Yeah.
And
it's
even
buffering in the middle of a scene.
like
Right, yeah. The walk cycles, while they look better, I know walking is like the hardest thing to animate.
Mm-hmm.
The walk cycles still look kind of like janky in this, whereas in original Trigun, they might have not just shown the feet; they might have just shown them like walking like from like the chest up.
Oh shit! I never noticed that till right now.
See, one of the things with that, right, is even when I think of like Masterclass or some of the best in 3D animation, I always like when it complements 2D versus just being 3D. I think there's a happy medium of mix where like you can have the same impact, and there's way too many examples of terror. Oh my god, go to any anime that doesn't have budget, and you see one 3D thing, and you're like, that's like vomit inducing. Like recently, Dragon Ball Superhero, I thought they did it really well. Do I think it was better than Broly? No, like I still don't. But do I think that like they did it the best that they could, and that's not like I don't look at that and say that is ugly. Like I think they did a really good job, but there was still that like 3D anime is like, I feel like there's a lot of times, or there's a lot more examples where I can say y'all are almost there, but there's a fundamental aspect of anime that's just, you know, making this not be as smooth, because to me, no matter what, and it might just be my personal bias at this point, like if you level up and do like 2D 3D to the maximum and hybrid it, like it's gonna look better than each one of the elements by themselves. And I even say like straight up 2D is always like, if we're just doing one and the other, like if you go all out on the budget on 2D, it's gonna look better than if you were to go all out on the budget on like a 3D more anime-esque style. The reason why I say that hybrid medium, right, we're gonna talk about it in a bit. Demon Slayer does that. Demon Slayer did that, and it looked stupid, like absolutely nonsensical. and Mappa does that a lot, and it can look good whenever you kind of blend it together, and it's not standing out. And I mean, there's anime that do it that I think are a bit inoffensive, like Blue Lock has moments of 3D that I don't like sit there and cringe at. You know, it's just like light 3D, totally fine. It's when you just showcase it all that you can start to see some of those flaws.
Yeah,
but I think Stampede, I will still say, I think it does it really, really well.
Yeah, Stampede is probably the best one that I've seen, like, in terms of a show.
Yeah.
I think Superhero, the movie, edges it out.
Doggett is saying Chainsaw Man looked great. That did have elements of 3D. And
That's also true.
Joe Gira says the best CJ anime is Lupin the Third, the movie.
Haven't seen it. I need to crack open the Lupin can one of these days.
I have seen it. It does look very nice.
Oh, 1 second. Key. It's like you didn't read the topics. We're getting there. How about you wait?
I will say, and this is just one more question specifically for JJ, because he's the only one that has the frame of reference to compare both. Because Maggie wanted to be on this show, just communication issues. She thinks that there's a anti-woman slant to a degree, and then with changing Millie to a man, Meryl going from the boss to
The rookie. Yeah, that's another one of the issues that I kind of have with it. I can't say that. Speaking as a dude, right,
yeah,
like I can't really say like this is totally unfair to women. I can only say that from, and I don't know what the creators were thinking when they were coming up with these changes, but it does kind of feel like the women in the series are getting the shorter end of the stick this time around. Because even if they made Roberto cooler, like to make him completely different from Millie, to a degree where he's like almost Vash 2 or almost as cool as Wolfwood, I would still be mad because it's like, well, why didn't you just make that Millie? Like the argument's still the same.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just make that Millie?
I think I need a reference point for like, because House Doggett had said her character is not strong in the original storyline. I want a reference point of like the manga because I have no perspective.
I've no
and anime is kind of like and it depends on because anime I think has some of the best showcases of women talent and then some of the worst. So I don't know what direction this one's going in. But I just don't have the frame reference point on that.
So Millie's big like selling point was personality. The big selling point for both of them really was personality. But of the two, Meryl was the more dry, like bookwormy kind of personality. So she sort of helped with the exposition a lot of the time. Like in the original anime, she was the one who explained like why Vash the Stampede was so legendary and ruthless and whatever. And in this one, no, Roberto mansplains it to her. And then it would be the same with like whenever a new villain showed up. Like when the Nebraska family shows up, it's kind of Meryl the one that knows like, oh shit, it's the Nebraskas. Like these guys are fucking ruthless, blah, blah, blah. In this one, Roberto's like, what are you doing, Ricky? Hide. It's the Nebraska family. They're going to fuck our shit up. So it does still, even though Meryl is kind of a dry character, and you could say that she doesn't have much characterization in the original anime, it's still sort of something that they're taking away from her and giving it to a dude who doesn't add anything on his own. Like he himself, Roberto, the character, hasn't really done much to merit his existence in this version.
Well, I'm intrigued because, like, I guess I'm not. I'm not supporting that at all. It's more so I'm just curious. I'm like, what was the rationale behind that? Because I mean, you have some series where you're like, you see the one we talked about, go to Dragon Ball and it took them to Super, but then they kind of have Bulma as this effervescent. I like how they make jokes about it sometimes, where she's just like, "Oh, Bulma, you're just like Shenron. You can grant anything."
They did kind of not as bad, but they did kind of give at least Millie the launch treatment. It's like, oh well, she's gone.
Yeah.
Who's launch? Yeah, shit. We don't talk about characters that don't exist.
But Meryl in like the original Trigun kind of does look a little bit older and is kind of the boss of the three. Even Vash kind of just follows around. And in the new character, they think that she looks a little too, or at least Maggie was saying, looks a little too ditzy, a little too like they didn't need to make her a babe, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, I mean, it'd be a lot better if we had a woman for perspective, but at the very least, I just wanted to bring it up and just be like, because it is a big change to see, what is it? To see Millie turn into a whole ass dude.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was thinking that they combined Millie and Wolfwood to one character. Because in my head, that makes a little more sense if you want, because there's only, 9 episodes so far?
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to be. But if they're condensing the story to sort of like make it run faster, go the Dragon Ball Kai route, where it's like, 9 episodes and we're done. It would make sense to have to like mix characters together or write, some minor characters out.
Or just establish the story in the way it should be.
That would be better.
Yeah, because I'm always like, because what happens here is this situation is there's gonna have to be another Trigun, because to get like all the characters right. If like assuming Millie is from the original manga, right? So,
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I haven't read the manga, so for all I know, I could be complaining about this dude that's originally there.
I'm gonna look that up.
But in my head, the way I saw the series kind of going when I saw it was Roberto, I thought they were fusing, like I said, Millie and Wolfwood. And in story perspective, if you know what happens with Wolfwood later on, it kind of still would make sense if you meld those two characters together. It would certainly change certain things up a lot, but it would still make sense in this, weird reboot world that we're working with.
I don't see anything about who is in the original manga.
I'm trying to get like a rationale of why they might have done that, right? Like, because it. Oh, so it is. If it isn't even like the manga, then I don't know.
Like I said, this seems like it's just doing a weird reboot. Like it's. So I
Too
thought.
bash ever smash. He's a plant, so he can't.
Right. As I was watching like episode 3, that's where I started to kind of like fall out of love a little bit with it.
Is that the Wolfwood episode?
Yeah, is it? No. Maybe. The one with the mine. With
The
E.G. Mine.
Yeah.
That one's where I kind of started to fall. It sort of fell a little out of favor with me because in the original anime, the deaths kind of held more weight. And this one, it's just like, nah, we're just kind of killing people for whatever. And it's a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like it's just doing it for the sake of spectacle and edginess with no real like weight or meaning behind it. And as I was watching that, 2 letters popped into my head kind of like immediately. GT. This sort of feels like it's Trigun GT.
Ooh.
Hey, well, let's not start doing Trigun like that, man. It's gonna have to do a lot of work.
I don't necessarily mean that as a bad thing because
JJ really came through with like a like a drive-by. It's like GT.
because GT took a while to find its stride. Like it's not
True.
I'm not gonna hold.
Don't put GT on this.
Don't get rid of Millie.
Yes.
Super Stampede 4 Vash. But I mean, I do see how GT was always the weirdest thing for me.
Right,
man.
and this is
It's a fever dream. It's a fever dream for like for the first 2 arcs. It's a fever dream, and then they get to a
and
story.
That's kind of where I feel this is right now for me. So, like I said, I hadn't finished, so it might be that it finds its stride like in episode 6. But watching that episode with E.G. Mine, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 or whatever, it really felt like this is going
All directions.
in a completely different direction than anything that I know Trigun to be about.
That's fair.
This is This feels like a bunch of TV producers got together and were like, we can't let this Trigun shit end, even though it hasn't been on the air for several years.
It is very weird. Even Knives he is introduced so much. He's the main antagonist. He's introduced so much earlier, and he's so much more powerful than he was in the original. Like, I think he tears apart a mountain with knives in the episode 3, I think, actually.
I mean, that's the power I want. Nah, I mean,
all shows are unnecessary. If you want to get technical about it.
no, you better stop. One Piece is necessary.
That's the exception.
Yeah, look, hey, rule of thumb, go back to the golden rule. Remember, the Animexcellence golden rule. If you're not liking an anime, if it's not fitting your perspective, go watch One Piece.
I have been watching one.
Yes, don't worry. It'll fit your perspective eventually. After, I tell people all the time, no matter who you are, even if you don't like it at the start, it's going to beat you down. It's going to get you. But nah, I want to take this opportunity real quick. Everybody in the chat, Serenity. No, you hear me. Put what you're watching right now.
Oh, wrong button. All right. Well, while they're doing that, we're going to jump into the next topic, which is Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer also premiered this week. Mm-hmm. Did you guys watch it?
Wait, did it premiere?
It did not premiere on cable. You have
Got
to
you.
go to...
Then yes, I watched it. Didn't know if everyone got catered to that goodness and midness.
It is one of the weirdest ways to do it. It's like we're going to release it into the theaters, but I mean, it's whatever.
No, I mean, they're Demon Slayer is the one that can get... Demon Slayer is the one that can. Sorry. So, why are you watching that? It's actually a lot more funny. I'll give you. It's a lot more funny as an adult than it was when I was a kid. I was like, oh wow.
No, you haven't missed the Attack on Titan title.
Oh baby. We ain't talk about it today, but yeah. I mean, Blue Lock always in. What you talking about? Blue Lock, that good. And if you're fans of Blue Lock, I would say go back and read the manga for all the chapters that have been put to live. You'll really appreciate the artistic design. But oh shit, people are taking me sideways. He mentioned Magi. Magi's the best. Appreciate it. Watch Magi. Look at me in the eyes here. Go watch Magi. Then go watch Adventurous Sinbad. Then go curse out the producers for not making me my season 3 and season 4. And go read the manga because it's immaculate. Most underappreciated shit ever. Now getting back on to Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was tight.
JJ, what were your thoughts on the premiere of Demon Slayer?
I dug it. It got me out of the house. I got popcorn and beer, and everything was great.
I'm gonna put my one critique here. I get why you did it because you can get away with it. But
Yeah, because like JJ's gonna pay.
Demon Slayer, y'all gotta stop making me watch shit on one screen or the other. One screen or the other. And then making me go have I saw them first 2 episodes. I saw them last 2 episodes already. Them. I loved it. And you might have got away with the 1 episode that mattered being on the screen. But then you made me go sit through a backstory with credits. I was like, y'all did not edit shit.
But you got to see it with fans, TJ.
I was in the theater, homies, and my buddy did not know what he was walking into. Because he was like, yeah, I rewatched the anime and prepped for this. And I said, oh, shit, man. Well, I know they're going to replay some things. I thought they were going to edit some things. Like, some light editing would have helped. Because I was a little deflated after that second episode. I was like, dude, I saw this already. Get to my shit.
Yeah. Agreed. And I thought they would have at least cut out the credits. Because there was an old couple that brought their kid or something that was sitting next to me, and they saw the credits roll and they were like, "Oh, I guess they're already getting." And the kid was like, "No, there's another one." Oh,
dude, I just. But
it's a month, so it comes out on regular services, right?
yeah.
Are you? Did you watch it, Marcos?
I'm not. I'm the odd man out. There's so much anime. Everyone's gonna be the odd man out at a certain point.
Well, I will say that when they do finally make it to season 3 episodes, which look, would I recommend you go to theater to watch it? I mean, I don't think there's anything particular. There's one part that they were just throwing money at a screen. And it was just like it was the first part of that first episode. Or that first episode of season 3, when they're going through and they're talking about basically the upper six.
Oh yeah.
This is just get ready for the camera to do because they're doing the Infinity Castle and they make it look really cool. Other than that, that's it. I mean,
Yeah, no, there's no rush to watch this, honestly. It's not like, even when Mugen Train came out, I ended up eating my words because they just reanimated that shit or re-aired that. But yeah, there's really no rush to go out and watch this. There's not a whole lot to spoil, even from what we saw in theaters.
no.
So there's really no problem waiting. If you don't want to go to the theater and spend the money, you just wait.
I need to save my money for Cocaine Bear. That's my problem.
I mean,
I made a choice between Cocaine Bear and this, and I chose this.
I mean, or else you could
check out our Cocaine Bear review. Not gonna spoil it here.
You could always watch the other anime movie, Creed.
I will watch that tomorrow.
Yeah. I have a date lined up for it. By date, I mean father-son date.
This is not a father-son movie, though. Like, it really isn't. Creed, there's no father figures in this movie.
Man, my dad likes men
Punching each other.
Like, he loves
men slapping meat.
Like, my dad doesn't even like movies. I'll be like, Rambo. I'll be like, yes. Gravitate towards it. He named his dog after fucking Rambo. But how'd I put it? It was like, I mean, Demon Slayer, like, it was. All I can say was, it still looks good, and I'm pretty sure when it gets to the climactic parts of the season, it's gonna look really, really good.
Oh man, Dougie and Henry got me right. And Creed is a good father figure to his daughter. So yes, it is that kind. It's a father-daughter movie, I guess, but it's not a father-son movie, really.
Other than that, I mean, I don't even know what to say about it because it's like not a bunch happens.
It's just the weirdest intro ever that I've ever heard of. Where it's just like we're gonna release the first episode to the theaters.
Like, it's a long episode.
It is. I mean, it's advertised as an hour length, but it's an hour length of TV. So it's like 44 minutes.
It's cut for commercials and shit.
Only thing they cut. I'm still salty about that. I like the opening. I think this season will be interesting because it is not one with the main 3 characters. It's just Tanjiro this season.
Right.
Oh, it's just Tanjiro this season? Oh man, I'm less hyped.
This one also feels like it's going to be faster. Like it sets up the intro to this arc.
Oh, I saw something really funny on TikTok that I think only TJ can
What's
verify.
up?
That whole fight scene was just 4 panels.
Which one?
The Tengen fighting.
Oh yeah. Too short. They boosted. They kind of have to do it because a lot of the demon. There's some that are the later ones are the later ones are longer, but there's some really short ones so this arc is weird. This arc would have been one I was like, and Demon Slayer arcs are not all that long, but this arc would have been one that I was like, I'm surprised he didn't movie this one because they could probably wrap up all this in a pretty long movie. But I get it. They want to do the 12 episodes. This is probably also where my knowledge gap is like the most lacking. I read these chapters.
Yeah.
It's not because I didn't like them that I don't remember them. They're just sandwiched between some cool shit. And so, like, what comes after this is way more memorable. What happens during this, it's not that it's not memorable. I like, this establishes one of the coolest Hashira, or another one of all the Hashira are really cool. But I don't remember.
You're asking if this is the Sword Village.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sword Village. Yeah. So, you meet the Love and Mist Hashira in this one, and they're both really cool. But this arc itself, it's like a blip in my memory. So
Yeah, if I got that vibe that this one's going to be kind of breezy. I mean, who's to say they're not going to extend it to make it fill the 12 episodes, but I was talking to my brother about it because he also watched it, and we both kind of agreed that this one puts more chess pieces in place at the very beginning of it, as opposed to like the start of the entertainment district.
Yes.
This one puts like way more shit up front and tells you like, oh, so this is what we might get this season. Whereas entertainment district was like, yeah, Tanjiro's still in a coma.
Well, I mean, this one
also starts with
these niggas in comas. No, I mean, what I do think it does a great introduction to the upper rank demons, because you haven't really seen all of them in their their glory just yet. And you get power scaled real quick. There's two that are like, there's one that's literally just like, man, like, don't get mad at him. Nigga can't beat me anyway. He can't catch the smoke anyway. So why you getting mad? But it's like you'll be hype for a lot of things. It's just weird because I off of initial designs too, which I know where it ends up, and they do get hype. Like the hypest ones are not the ones that are featured in this arc. Spoiler! It's not a spoiler, but it's like they clearly come out in episode 1 and are like, all right, who wants to be villain of the day? Y'all? Okay, cool. Y'all are the ones. And the ones like, can I? I'm like, no, y'all. Got to give them some screen time. And that's how they basically start off this arc. So there's a lot of pieces in play. I mean, it's gonna be eye candy. They're gonna do it. It's gonna look cool, and I'm glad it's gonna get animated. But I think like this is like not the calm. This is like the mildly tumultuous before the fucking storm, because it hits off to the races after this arc. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are breezing through these topics, so I get to add an anime that I wanted to talk about.
Which one?
So I saw this the Netflix thing that recommends. It's like, hey, you'll like this bullshit. And Edward had actually recommended this to me, and he's like, bro, you won't believe it. Like, there's a Shinsuke Nakamura reference in this fucking anime. And I was like, that's not enough to me to watch it. Yes. I started watching Record of Ragnarok.
Oh, man. So I have a personal bias towards this, but I'm glad you started. Record of Ragnarok is just...
I'm caught up. So, I mean, as long as the bias happens already.
Oh, no. So, the manga is... like, man, it looks so like that. I haven't seen the second season. That first season, the manga was so much better. And Record of Ragnarok, but because Record of Ragnarok, fundamentally, let me help you out here. Record of Ragnarok, like, you want to talk about some cardinal dumb man shit? It's just that. It's just like, let these two historical and slightly not historical figures fight. That's it. No question. That first one, there's no build-up. There's no explanations.
Well, here's the one thing that I say that is like a very Western bias. If you don't know a lot about Eastern culture, like, Lubu is a big hero in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about the Romance of the Three Kingdoms? Probably not, and it's China's Odyssey.
Like, if you're not into anime already or into Chinese history, aka if you haven't read Kingdom, yeah, then you probably are out of the loop. But no, so Record of Ragnarok, the manga is so dope. Like it has one of my favorite fights of all time. The anime pissed me off on. Fun fact. You have characters like Adam. Adam's fighting the monks. Yeah. Adam is the first human, baby. That's how you feel during that fight.
Well, you can spoil all of that. That's season 1.
Yeah, that's season 1.
I'm caught up with season 2.
Perfect.
So,
and I'm like, so I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of really cool, like, just random ass pairings. Like, no, I've never seen a show or a manga that was just like, yeah, let's make Adam fight fucking Zeus. Why? What the fuck does the first human's power? It's dope. Let me help you out.
I did think that it was really funny that they were like, everyone says you hate the gods the most. Why do you even want to fight me? It's like, does a father need a reason to protect his kid?
That's the crookedest line. When you read that in the manga, dog, you're like, Daddy! Like, he's filling in the slots.
It doesn't matter if it happens or not. I already know what the 13 fights are. What's the fight that you like the most that you're like,
It was Adam versus Zeus.
Oh, Adam versus Zeus.
Like, I really, really liked Adam versus Zeus. And if it were given just some like Titanic animation, like Record of Ragnarok is one that deserved like a lot of really good budget and didn't get it that first season. I think the second season looks better, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't think it looked bad. What's what's like the issue that makes it look? I think that sometimes like the animation gets a little sticky. Like it's just, okay, that's it. So in an anime, we'll just put it in this perspective. In an anime that's all about fighting, right? That's the one thing you can't mess up. Like that's the one thing you should just be throwing dollars at. And it deserved it because if you read the manga, you're like, oh, they're just going stupid. they're just throwing punches. And it follows the formula. Here's the Record of Ragnarok formula. Get matchup, get introduced to the characters. Sometimes you get introduced to them and you're like, fuck you come from. Sometimes you get introduced and they're just in the crowd. He said, I want to fight now. They'll be throwing some shit. Once you start to get some blood on both characters, or you're like, I don't know how this guy's gonna win, backstory hits. When backstory hits, you get all their backstory. And then you're like, cool. Then you get the backstory of the other person. And then you get the conclusion to the fight. So you don't get backstory for all these characters. Because some of them, like, shoot, some of the gods, you'd be like, I don't fucking know how you even got this. What's your power? They brought up Poseidon, the thing. Like, yeah, Poseidon, you do not get a backstory to Poseidon.
Poseidon doesn't get much.
I guess Ghost Tab is mad with you because he's like, this whole fight is Microsoft PowerPoint. He said that earlier, and he's like, you don't make a fighting show anime that's just a slideshow.
No, because it is the show that like a lot of people who had read it were like, yo, this gets the budget. It's just gonna be because sometimes you want some really pretty dumb shit.
Yeah,
and it was so close to being like some really pretty dumb shit, but like knowing that like it's also not the type that'll probably get like a remake, right? So it's like, damn, Netflix got this, and they could have made it stupid. It could have been something that like was trending for just people to watch, because there's some people who are like, hey, you like that Dragon Ball shit, bro? You just want something that's punching? Here you go. Like I'm caught up in the manga, and I can't tell you about like the story, Ragnarok. But what's happening? Gods are fighting. That said, it's I think some of the matchups are cool. I'm glad you watched it, because it made there was one character who's in season 2, I think, but in the manga, yo, I'll tell you, you ever want to switch to Buddhism? It's like,
Buddha is one of the funniest characters in this. He's already appeared, but he's just walking around. I think he's doing drugs. They don't really say he's doing.
He's living
drugs.
his best life. Relax.
Ragnarok is Fate Stay Night without the story.
Man, they really hate Record of Ragnarok. I just thought it was fun. It is like the equivalent of like a dumb.
It is real like man shit.
You know, it's like so if that lady were saying, why y'all watch anime, and she watched Record of Ragnarok, I get it. Because that'd be like, oh, this dumb man brain thing.
As soon as Thor's hammer comes to life, he'd be like, leave.
This isn't for you. It's not common sense. You're too smart for this. Get out.
It's the anime equivalent of all those TikToks that are like, this is for the male audience, and they just throw a big rock like down a bridge.
I mean, that being said, I do think all the fights are like that. It's weird because I do know a little bit about Eastern culture. Like Raiden, don't know shit about sumo. Did not know shit about, like, there was this really powerful sumo dude at some point.
If you're going for historical accuracy, don't. Once again, yeah, I was hoping, like, if my girl saw me like reading or watching this, I'd hope she'd just come in and just be disappointed. Like,
and then they already talked about Kojiro fighting Poseidon, and it's like, oh, Poseidon loses to a guy with a sword.
I think you're getting to it. The fight that surprised me the most was Jack the Ripper.
That was what I was building up to. But just to talk about Kojiro for a second, I thought it was really weird that they chose Kojiro as the like hero, And then canonically, story-wise, it's like, well, he learned from everyone because he lost to everyone. Like, that was the storyline that they made up. But the whole time, like, when he showed up, I'm like, why isn't it Miyamoto Musashi, the dude that was undefeated for his entire life? And then he shows up in the background, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro, they just... So they give you the... can you pull up the lineup for... like, because it should be in, like... It's not a spoiler chat. Like, hold up. It should show, like, the just straight up lineup. Oh, there we go, the lineup list. Can you pull that up? Like, for who's fighting with who? Thank you. Cool. Ain't nobody explained to me yet because they have not been. I don't know what Rasputin's gonna do.
Isn't his whole thing just not dying?
Yeah. Nikola
He's
Tesla.
gonna keep coming back. The Nikola Tesla fight has already happened.
Nostradamus, explain to me. King, because Leonidas hasn't gone yet, right?
Nostradamus is gonna fight like Katakuri. Dude, it's gonna see 8 seconds into the future.
Remember you were talking about like when that lady walks into the room and judges you, the equivalent is coming.
All those people are fighting each other?
Yeah. So the gods are fighting humanity.
That's the name of that's the anime premise?
Yes.
Yes.
So like Adam, the first man, like that's
Thor is biting everybody.
No,
No.
Thor only gets to fight one person.
you get to fight one person.
Oh.
So it's 1v1. So it's like Adam was fighting Zeus.
Fuck, who's the weakest god then? Let me see.
Weakest?
Beelzebub, maybe. I don't know Susanoo no Mikoto. I don't know that demon.
I don't know that one either.
Adam's worthless.
Oh, yeah.
no. Oh, no.
Adam's all our dads.
But only in Christian religion.
No.
Oh no, he comes out. He's just like, nah, I'm gonna protect everybody.
Wait, do they-
Everybody's
Do the humans have superpowers too?
Yes.
kind of.
Fine. Okay, like Tesla has like electricity powers. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, they all get so. Fuck. Now we got to explain the dumbest anime to Sam.
No, it is
30 seconds or less.
It's man brain anime. It's not like you're not there for a story. You're there to see dudes just beat up on each other.
So basically, the gods all get together and they're like, we're going to get rid of humans because they suck. They ruin the world. They kill each other. They do all these bad things. And then if the humans get eliminated, the demigods, Valkyries, will get eliminated. So they're like, hey, how about instead of eliminating each other, we do a Ragnarok, which is this with this tournament.
No, yeah, and the humans do get powers. The power of elbow grease and waifu magic. Ghost tabs it.
Anime's dumb.
He'd
the
love
same-
it. Yeah, he's the audience for it.
We just need to start him at the Jack the
Why
Ripper fight.
smash small rock when you can smash big rock?
But like, you get the fantastical powers from the gods. You get the more like grandiose, not grandiose, but you get the more like more lower skill based
It does
powers.
start with the biggest man fight of Thor versus Lubu, though.
Bro, they don't. Bro, it's dead ass. Both are like, I respect you now. I respect you now. Let's fight harder.
But yeah, just to close this off, I was amazed by the whole Jack the Ripper versus Hercules storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen, where Hercules is just this person that's like, I love all of humanity, even you piece of shit.
Jack the Ripper's like, I'm hated by everybody, but I still got a rep. Still got a rep, my guy. I'm sorry.
Broomhilda is basically a WWE promoter.
Bro, she dead. Bro, some of the in the manga, you be see some of the faces she be making during that fight. You like, girl, calm down. Like, the fight's cool, but like, I know humanity's winning this one, but
I don't know how things end because I'm just watching the anime. Did you finish the whole manga?
I am close to being caught up. It's not ended yet.
Oh, it hasn't.
No,
I
it's still
didn't know.
going, baby.
Oh shit.
Half those fights haven't happened yet.
Are we really?
Yeah,
like
like a
even
lot-
in the manga.
No, yeah, no, a lot of them haven't happened yet.
Damn, I'm gonna be watching this till like 2030.
Oh yeah, you got time. I'm just hoping that eventually it gets to that, like, you know, just give it the budget it needs to be dumb and trend for its beauty.
I don't
That's
know
all
why
I
that
want.
art reminds me of Hellsing. It's the chins, 100%. They have Hellsing shadow and chins.
Sorry, I see Adam almost tear up every time.
On to the main topic of the night.
Mid for you, mid for me.
I was about to say everyone's a mid person out. The crowd did come to see us talk about it.
Yes.
And man, are they drawing this out in the longest? How do they keep doing this? Like, where it's just like something ends in the middle of a climax, but it doesn't pick up in the middle of a climax.
Hey man, because Attack on Titan fans, they got y'all by the ball.
Say what you want about me going to the theater to watch one episode.
Dog, they told y'all it was the final season, and sometime in the middle of it said the final's coming out next. What you gonna get with that? Like,
They straight up were like, Attack on Titan is ending next year. 6 months from now.
Attack on Titan's ending.
because I'm telling you, someone every time they forget, they get into the executive office and I'm like, man, y'all forget how much money they should be making. Shut up. It's extended.
I just am so mad.
Thank you again, Christina Uchiha, for another tier 1 sub.
Thank you for another gifted sub. We appreciate it. Y'all really coming through today. We really, really appreciate it.
So I guess let's start off with this. What is your issue with Attack on Titan that you think it's mid? Or is it just that the anime is mid because it drags everything out for so?
Well, no. How do I put it?
That'd be my complaint.
It's a little bit of a mix. Attack on Titan's cool. It's like, well, I think it came out with such a strong anime presence. Like,
Right, yeah.
everyone still loves that first, like that first season of the anime, right? And or the intro, like people still sing it. And it kind of just didn't build off that. Kind of took its sweet time getting some places. And I've read the manga for a good chunk.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the story beats, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But these are things that you got to, like, you know, build off of, keep it continuous, like, kind of keep the people engaged. I think they have to, like, do I think all the breaks are warranted? Not really. Like, do I want it to be the prettiest it can be? Yeah, for y'all out
Map
there.
of artists can only work so hard.
Because they should be prioritizing JJK. But that's a different conversation for another day.
That's coming up.
I know. We eating. And they got One Punch Man season 3. But, you know, it's just like, yeah, like the animation adds the flavor to some of the story beats. But I've always thought Attack on Titan is like a pretty good story. Not like a life-changing like some people make it out to be. I think it's pretty good. And the animation was like, yeah, like you had mentioned, Ghost Tap. The anime was kind of what took it up a little bit because it presented it in a different way. Because some of the, man, there's some just exposition dumps that could not be done unless you animate it pretty. But inevitably, you know, at this point, the ending has been there for a while. You have hyped up. You said the final. Like it takes the wind out the sails. It's kind of messy.
It is very messy. I'll give you that for sure. That being said, the rumbling is fucking terrifying when you see it on screen.
I'll give you that.
Did you see the last episode? I mean, I know you didn't need to. You read it.
Oh no, I did.
Okay.
I only talk. I gotta talk. If I want to talk shit, I gotta make sure I'm up to date on my shit. Shoot, hey, like, do I want to read Rent a Girlfriend every week? No. Do I gotta keep pace so I can talk more shit on it? Yes.
I mean, spoiler for at least this sentence, and it happens. Nothing. It doesn't affect any of the main characters, but it's just like it literally starts with child murder being squished to death. Like it's pretty horrifying, right? Like they don't hide it like the way like a horror movie was just like, oh, like, and then it bit the kid and disappear scene. Like, no, this shows you like in grotesque detail. It's like, well, here's the rocks falling and here's the foot.
No, I mean, Attack on Titan in terms of gruesomeness, like I don't think it's ever afraid. Shoot, that like I said, that first episode, I'm pretty sure that that was the one that mom got eaten. I said,
yeah.
I was like, yo, you had a mom just get crunched. Once that's out the pass, if moms ain't safe, these kids ain't safe.
I mean, I did have an ex get hooked just with the eating of Aaron. Because when the scene ends like that, it's like, oh, they just killed the protagonist. Anything can happen now. I mean, they redo it the next episode, but still, like, spoilers for 2010 at this point. Like that episode's been out for forever, and it's available on Netflix, Hulu, and all the fucking apps at this point.
I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm happy for Attack on Titan fans. They're obviously hype. I just think the execution has been not like animation wise. So I was actually on the opposite end where I was like, I think it looked fine. I think it's always looked fine. I think or fine to great. I don't like some people were complaining, and I was like, I don't really get it. But this season comes out and it looks fine, looks great. It's just more so like you're breaking up like these hype. Like this season especially shouldn't have been broken up. Like this is hype to hype.
Yeah,
you can, but why?
Well, the last like 5 episodes of the season that was supposed to end it, like nothing happens. Like I know they're building up suspense, but I'm like the stakes are already pretty drawn out. You didn't need to have, I don't know, maybe it's only 3 or 4 episodes of the dudes arguing about whether they can kill Eren or not for 3 or 4 episodes.
He's a villain. Why are we talking about it? Motherfucker's a super villain by the end. Not a really, but
I mean, at this point, he's probably killed more people than
saved. Yeah. Yes. The answer's yes.
I'm trying to think of a scale, and because like probably a whole continent has been eradicated at this point, I don't know what the scale would be. Like maybe a Frieza level threat at this point.
I mean,
Yeah, he has world-ending potential with that rumbling, don't he?
Yes.
He's a Frieza level threat.
Nah, Frieza level threat. See, Frieza on sight, he calls me a monkey, so that ain't Eren ain't no threat to me just yet.
Eren hates you depending on what side of the wall you were born on.
Motherfucker comes from space to say, I hate you monkeys. Where'd you even get that from, dog? Like,
All right, you might have a point. He's maybe a Saiyan Saga threat.
I will say on this, like, I have not reached the end. We will talk about the end in October when we fucking get there. Is there a racial element to, or not a racist element to Attack on Titan? Because I know people were really mad about it when the manga ended originally. People were like, "Oh, you weren't aware of the controversy of it."
Go ahead, school
There's
me.
a group of chosen people that live on an island, and they're ostracized for their power.
It's probably a theme, yeah. Guess what? There's racism in One Piece.
There's also a group of people, generally.
It's like, what you looking for?
They're hated for their superiority. They're all German named.
Robin is Russian, and her people were eradicated because of their big brains.
I guess.
She's not. Where's the lie, though?
Well, that is the overall thing. Is that they do promote ethnic cleansing in a way, which like everyone that's not of these people, it's okay if they're wiped out.
Yeah. I don't support it. I'm just like it's a story.
I like this defense because it is accurate. This plot is based around racism, but it's not racist.
I don't think it's racist. It's just yeah, it's a plot point. He made a story about it. Yeah.
Last question on the Attack on Titan spear. What is more horrifying, the rumbling or the eclipse?
It's the rumbling.
JJ?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the rumbling too.
Yeah, there's no escaping the rumbling. They tried everything. You can talk about... everyone's saying the rumbling in the chat. You can talk about racism without being racist. Next, we can't make slave movies. I guess that's true.
Yeah,
yes, the Berserker clips.
Yeah, I mean, Man, Berserk's just depressing. So I mean, I was like, really? Yeah. If you had said, what's more depressing, or what's more scary, the rumbling or Guts' life? You're like, I don't want to be Guts. I was like,
Guts' storyline is having a really weird couple of issues, but we'll get to that eventually.
I just like, how some people are like, yeah, it'd be cool to be this protagonist.
Henry makes a good
Never
point.
Guts.
What? The Berserker
Word we
clip.
can't say.
Oh, yeah. Can't say that online.
I'm not laughing at that. I was like, that was just so stated matter of factly. I was like, that was just tossed in there, and I was like, it's technically not a lie.
Well, just as a preview for our next episode, you said we're going to be eating good. What's coming up? What are the animes that y'all should be watching?
For sure. So Hell's Paradise. Oh my gosh. Hell's Paradise is gonna be dope. Hell's Paradise. It's another Mappa baby because they're all Mappa babies. But
Damn, Mappa's
That's what I'm saying.
Snatching
Like
up
they're
everything.
just like they open the door. It's like we're done, and then someone comes up with a stick. Back to work.
Chainsaw Man paid out good.
yeah, they like, hey, we don't pay y'all to not be allergic to sunshine. Get back in that dark. Nah, how do I describe it? Yeah, Hell's Paradise #1. Well, not #1, but Hell's Paradise is definitely up there. It's gonna be awesome. It's a quick manga read, and by quick I mean 100-something chapters.
Okay.
It like delivers. Have you guys like read any of it or been exposed to any?
No.
One
I'm
Piece
not.
fan, so you could tell me something's like 200 chapters. I'm like, oh, that's an afternoon.
3 minus. Oh shoot, I'll knock that out. One Piece deserves it though. But with so a lot of people put it like as like or claim like Hell's Paradise is kind of part of like a dark like the dark shonen big three, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
was like Hell's Paradise, JJK, and Chainsaw Man. Hell's Paradise is bleak. It is. It's not depressing, but you feel the stakes. Characters you like can die. It gets really like powers kind of get pretty cool, but the concept, just to set the premise right, basically they take these basically there is this island that has the so-called elixir of life, and the shogun has sent over people and they never came back. And so now he basically is like, hey, all right, fine, we're gonna take these like a bunch of these death row convicts and pair them up with a person, and basically pair them up with like a person to watch them, and if they get out of line, they instantly like you're supposed to kill them. But essentially, these death row convicts are the ones who are going to be searching, going to be doing it, and whoever gets the elixir of life will get a pardon for their crimes, right? And so when they basically it all just like they set out, they get there, and things go awry once they get to the island, right? So once you start to see kind of the evolution of that, and the main character you're following, he's a ninja, so it's cool, but like by default. But his big thing is he's basically like, hey, like my whole goal is I just want to get back to my wife, dude. Like that's it. And that's not a spoiler. Like he gets that pretty early. He's like, hey, look, I got one goal at all, trying to get back to my people. But it's not all this seems. People throw wrenches, and then you get to the island and you realize what's going on, and it's like, oh shit, they're fucked. And it's like watching them not be, or try not to be for the most part. Yeah, the island is Hell's Paradise without the paradise. That is a great way of putting it. There's no paradise. It's not pretty. It's not cool. We'll get got if we show the trailer, won't we?
Well, we can't talk over the trailer anyway. So
Yeah, so I'll have y'all watch it afterwards. But no, Hell's Paradise is going to be great. I know Demon Slayer's coming out, and Demon Slayer looks good. So we're going to be really good next season. And then actually, let me go ahead and just pull up next season's anime real quick, because there was quite a few that were coming out. 2023
Spring?
spring, yeah.
Chat, have you got
I
any
know
recommendations?
seasons. I know months.
Well, I mean, it's all been fucked up. Like one day it's 30. The next day, it's 90.
That's how I caught a cold. I was like, it'll be fine.
They've got Dr. Stone hitting its new season. A lot of people like Dr. Stone. I still think in terms of anime worlds, I wouldn't want to be brought to. Dr. Stone is pretty high up there. That's a whole reset. I'm good.
Yeah.
Shadow Shogun is bringing up Vinland Saga. I did start watching that once I finished Record of Ragnarok.
I need to watch season 2,
Yeah.
I see the problem with Vinland Saga is that it's on Prime. I mean, it's on Crunchyroll now, but it premieres on Prime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I went like 5 months not realizing that I could have already been watching.
We also have Mashal. Ooh, Mashal's fun.
Mashal. Yeah, that's what I'm
Mashal's something to
looking
look forward to. Do you know the premise of Mash? Has anyone told you
No.
the premise of Mashal yet?
How do I spell it? M-A-S.
It's how it sounds. Mash. L-E.
Okay.
Let me help you out here.
It's
Harry Potter, but buff.
Yeah.
Like, is it the basic premise is this kid goes to school, like this magic school. He only has muscles. That is his power.
That's his magic. His magic is I lift good.
Yeah. So,
I like it. I'm in.
like you, he likes cream puffs a lot. That's all you need to know.
It is such a man anime. First time chatter at Lord Enigma.
It's universal. It's a shonen. It's for everybody.
He's Rock Lee.
Kid is
Austin.
shredded and uses his muscles to make magic look weak. Yes, I'm in. Basically, he's a barbarian in a magic wizard
Right,
world.
yeah. Look, I will. I've been way past 13, so Harry Potter world waved bye-bye to me long ago. But I can still
Mashal
get
world.
buff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to a magic school to get buff. Oshinoko, excuse me. So it's made by the creator of Kaguya-sama Love is War. And yes, I saw that in the chat. Kaguya-sama is awesome. If you've not seen Kaguya-sama Love is War and you're looking for it's funny. It's genuinely funny. But Oshinoko is a totally another one where I support that Serenity. No,
Harry
Rose.
Potter but buff, no thanks. King of Demon High is my anime magic school. Give me spells.
I think you're thinking of Black Clover, Bird Rose, or Bird Rosie.
Black Clover is what what wants to be Mashal. I'm kidding Black Clover School.
I do. Where's it? It's on hiatus still, right?
Black Clover, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were letting them all get out there a little bit because they had matched up.
That makes sense.
So Oshinoko is basically it's like someone put it best. It's idol anime but dark. It's first of all, art is awesome. Of course, the artist is really really good, but the concept is it's interesting. This guy takes care of this idol, and and has to give a secret birth to these two kids, right? So she she's younger, she's an idol in Japan, can't be having kids, right? Yeah. So she has, but she ends up having she's like going through delivery, and while that's happening, the doctor who had been like keeping that under wraps and had been taking care of her dies and is reincarnated as one of the kids. And basically, there's a lot of war and fortune that happens following suit with that, but it is actually they're following suit with kind of a mystery, kind of a murder mystery, kind of a reincarnation story, kind of an idol anime. And I think that like the manga, it's not always my cup of tea, but I trust the people. I trust that the people who are bringing it into spotlight are going to make it look really awesome, probably elevate the story.
I got a recommendation
For sure.
This is a movie though, and it comes out in April. Suzume no Tajamari,
The Chair.
The Chair. That's the only thing that makes me feel like not interested in it. It's like, oh, the person I love
chair.
turns into a chair.
It's The Chair. Man, it looks so good, and then I see that in a chair. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? So
I hope it works.
I've heard really good things about Gundam Witch of Mercury. I've not
Is
watched
Gundam the one that had which Gundam had the slap that like horrified people on TikTok for a little bit? Did you not see the slap? Oh
Or
man.
just unmakes a person.
The what?
where it unmakes a person.
Yes. They use a Gundam to like a person.
Oh, that's dope. So it is from Witch of Mercury. I need to actually check that out. I need to do a chunk of watching on that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch. It's supposed to be a continuation of Universal Century, if I'm not mistaken.
Any recommendations on anime to get into? I haven't seen Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan? Someone hasn't seen Attack on Titan?
Well, hey, I like your enthusiasm. Blicky on my stiffy.
That's a good name.
But with,
I mean,
dude, there's a lot. Like, what would be like your starter pack anime? If you want something short, you like good storytelling, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai
Cowboy Bebop's
Champloo,
the safe bet, yeah.
like those are really good bets. If you're ready for a journey, One Piece. Not because I'm saying it's a great starting anime. It's because I'm saying it's the best. That's it. But if you're not ready to, make yourself classy and join the Legion, go watch any video that tells you their journey through One Piece and you'll see people change. But jokes aside, if you want like a longer one,
One Piece.
Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is like a good, like, 131, like,
good.
super quality all the way
Full Metal
through.
Alchemist, a lot of people are recommending. Full Metal Alchemist, I kind of have a little trouble recommending because Brotherhood kind of assumes you already watched the original anime, but if you watch the original anime, like, you're just going to get, like, mixed up a little bit, like, in terms of story and...
Yeah, it's like I'm also an FMA is like B tier at best, but that's just a me thing. And Ducking Henry, look, One Piece anime. I'm not gonna sit here and say there aren't some pacing issues sometimes, but Wano's awesome. And I think there's a period where I think it's perfectly fine, and I think the first portion, like a good portion of like a lot of the starting segments of One Piece, and then from Water 7 to the end of the war, I think is paced perfectly fine. So like I think there's good chunks of the anime that are paced fine, and I usually the best One Piece experience is like do both, but like hey, not everybody can read the manga, and I think that should not be a blocker for JoJo is not better than One Piece. It's different. I don't even count JoJo as,
I got it pulled up.
Oh, shit.
that's what we want.
I put when we you weren't here for the Sync Countdown. When we went to top 5 fictional universes, I was like, I'd like to be in the Gundam universe, please. And then I saw that. I was like, okay.
To your point, JoJo is not a starter anime. JoJo is farthest thing from a starter anime
so dense.
ever.
It is, yeah, and it's
so weird. It's weird in a good way.
It's like an anime lover's anime. Like,
yeah, so JoJo for me, I didn't watch it for a while because I was like, I don't think that's for me, and I love anime. And then I watched it and I said, I get it, it's for me. But it's definitely not a starter pack anime.
Maybe Mob Psycho. Maybe.
Mob Psycho's pretty. The only reason why I said that is some people get turned off by the art style,
I would say,
which I think is stupid. But
it's one that we've been singing the praises of for as long as it's been around. Spy Family's really good.
Spy Family.
Spy Family's a great one.
Yeah.
It's really wholesome and it's really funny. If you're not as much into the action side of anime, like it's a good wholesome like sitcom-esque style of show.
I recommend One Piece as a starter anime because it is stop it. If you love it, you have so much to like take from it, Sometimes you want that journey not to end.
It does suck when somebody is like, all right, I recommend Cowboy Bebop, and like 2 weeks later you're like, but now what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, no, Spy Family is a great starter anime. I would say so my rule of thumb with anime, how I've always watched it is I always have a long, and then I just kind of siphon through the shorts, so that way, it doesn't feel overwhelming, and you also have something that you can dip a bunch from if you want to. So if you're the type who's like, hey, sometimes you get in periods where you want to just watch One Piece, and then you have a bunch to pull from. But then you want to watch the weeklies, and you can kind of digest those and get through quicker stories that way.
Right, yeah. I fear the day when I have to tweet out, I'm out of One Piece. Like,
My buddy hates it. He feels like he says it every time. Shut up, Duck again. You stop it. You stop it. That's not true. Detective Conan is not. But no, like my buddy literally says, I hate being a week to week. It's the most treacherous thing possible, especially where we are in the anime.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like anything else that was like a super good starter. Well, I don't even remember my first one.
Your first anime ever?
I don't.
Mine was around my 1.5. So
I usually say like if you go back in the Adult Swim catalog, there's a bunch of great like shorter ones.
I need to rewatch it, but I think that if I wanted Sam to watch anime, he'd probably enjoy Tenchi.
Which one?
Tenchi Muyu.
Watched it when it came out.
Yeah, but that was 8 episodes. It goes on forever.
I caught 2 of them. Attention Muyo, right?
There's like 4 Tenchis.
I would say, you know what? Like, I guess it also depends on like the genre you're going into, right?
Right, yeah.
Because like I think I mean, Beckman Gully and Chop Squad is not a bad anime to recommend to people, but like I'd be like, hey, like that you'd have to be into music and into ready to be depressed a little bit.
The only thing that because I'm actually currently rewatching Mongolian Chop Squad and I love it still, is I've heard like the manga goes way further than the show does,
And it gives them more to read. If you want to watch anime, you're also going to have to learn to read too. Like reading, because some of your favorite stories, once again, did Moggy dirty. You have to just read. I'd also, and then someone put in.
Is there anything worse than the first Berserk where it's just like, and now we're going to end in the most depressing chapter ever, and that's it?
2016 Berserk.
What happens at the end of 2016 Berserk?
It's just shitty.
That's why I was saying, like, Berserk just needs a really good full annotation. Fully Cooley, yeah. I mean, not a starter anime, but yeah, you know what? I'm with you. Fuck it. Test how much you ready for it. Yeah. Why don't you start on level 7?
They said like earlier, Fully Cooley. I mean, not Fully Cooley. JoJo is like, you got to be into anime to get this. I mean, Fully Cooley is right up there.
Hey, start them on hard. It's 6 episodes. If you can't handle it, then you're not ready to dish.
Serenity is saying Death Note. It drags his feet a lot. That's the only.
Death Note is, after a certain point, like it kind of fumbles for me.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like people remember the really good parts of Death Note. Y'all forget that there's like a period, like there's 40 episodes, but a fourth of that is bullshit.
I would not just drop someone in Evangelion, dude. That's not one I would do.
Oh no, I'm not saying I discount the anime only fans. Shoot, I'd love to be an anime only One Piece fan.
Ghost story stuff.
I was just saying, there's a lot of like shorter anime that like won't get that time and attention, or won't get like the anime only treatment. So if you do love a show, there's a lot of times where you do have to end up reading the manga too.
Actually, I mean, this comes up. Even Sam has watched it. Akira is probably a good starter anime.
The movie?
It's a movie, yeah.
Nah,
If Sam's watched it,
it's a good movie. Not a good starting anime. I think, because it's like old school, like, and it's not a fun movie to watch. It's depressing shit. We want to get them smiling, happy, jovial.
so no Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's start him there. What would be like? Oh, but someone dropped it in the chat too. Eureka 7 would be great too. If you like, I think it's one that gets slept on quite a bit.
I did like that one a lot.
The original Dragon Ball. That's just a parody of like kung fu movies.
Fire Force isn't bad. Fire Force has moments where you're like, "What are y'all doing here? We're going with this." I've finished
You know
the
that's
story.
happening in like every like real life firefighting show, like Lone Star 911, and what's the one with Dennis Leary, Rescue Me. At a certain point, you're like, dude, why are you dragging this so long?
Okay, here we go. We'll end off this. Give them an obscure 90s anime to watch. Go.
Obscure 90s anime
Yeah,
to
just give them
watch?
some obscure. No.
Ooh, I got it, but I just need to. Jinro.
Okay.
Oh, wait, someone's put Yu Yu Hakusho quite a few times. I think Yu Yu Hakusho is a great starting place too. I think it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yu Yu Hakusho is good.
It holds up. Like someone said earlier, talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, that needs to be. That's the one that needs to be remade.
What's weird is I love its 90s feel. I
Super
adore
90s.
it. Like because when I went back and I watched the sub for it. That was my main experience through it, because I watched like episodes of the dub. And it's one of the ones where it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Both are good. But I watched it with the sub, and I was just like, damn. I feel like I am a child of this era, and I am. But it's a time capsule. So I love that feel of it. I would want them to maintain that if they did bring it back up.
I mean, I would dress like Yu Yu Hakusho today.
I've been looking for that jacket. Like, I want a green jacket.
Oh, that's just a members only jacket, bro.
I know, but I haven't found one in green.
See, look, right here. See, right here. See, Serenity. This, this is why, I love you for being here on time. But we gonna have beef because you said I would never watch One Piece. That's the problem. You don't know what you're missing. Everyone says this. It's like the art's not for me. Guess what? It's a drug. Once you sniff, get a little taste, you're gonna be hooked.
I tried rewatching Kenshin. It's really hard to rewatch. The Rurouni Kenshin's dialogue is pretty annoying in this day and age. It was fine when I was 15. Now I'm just kind of like... But even Gundam Wing's dialogue is really hard to watch right now. Everything is so melodramatic. I know they're at war, but still, like, they don't need to be like that.
Obscure 90s. Slayers. I think that's obscure enough.
I'm struggling with the obscure part. Ronin Warriors?
That counts?
That counts.
Because I wanted to say S Cryad, but it's like, it's not nice.
No,
It's not
S-Cry,
nice.
but I'll take that. Yo, Yo, if you've never seen S-Cryad, it's anime. Actually, that's changed my recommendation. S-Cryad's my recommendation, too. Dog, you'll be sitting there. That's not a JoJo pose. That's an S-Cryad pose.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming out tonight. This has been the Animexcellence. We will probably pick up in the middle of April. Oh, no, not in the middle of April. Too long. Somewhere in April. We'll have more stuff to talk about. But until then, join us on Thursday. We're going to be doing an episode of the Sing Countdown. Top 5 meals we would like to eat if we're on death row. Don't know what crime we committed, but hey, we did it. But thanks for coming out and have
Really
a wonderful
bad
night.
financial crime. We're not killers and or evil people. So really bad financial crime.
Are we FTX? Did we pull an FTX?
Thanks for coming out, ladies and gentlemen.
Ducking Henry, no! Don't listen to him!